What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zamboni. I am an herbalist and astrologer. I am coming to you from mid-Missouri this week, and it is time to talk about the astrology of the week ahead. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you so much for hitting that save button, that like button. Thank you for commenting, following. Thank you for sending it to a friend. Thank you for sending me a tip via Cash App or PayPal. That is super, super, super helpful. Thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Let's talk about the astrology of the week ahead. So, this week we have, it's very interesting to me this week. I'm very excited to see what happens here. Not because it's going to be particularly easy, comfortable, fun, but because I think it's going to be really important. So the most important thing that I feel like is going to be taking place this week is that we're going to be moving. So Venus has been in Leo and is in the same sign as Mars. And so Leo is the sign that is opposite to Saturn in Aquarius, and it's square to Uranus in Taurus. So we've been talking about this for several weeks at this point. I feel like I'm sort of, I've said all the things that I feel like is easy to say around Saturn-Uranus. This Saturn-Uranus thing is the major thing that's going on this year. And so every time we get some activation through a fixed sign, such as Leo, such as also Scorpio or Aquarius or Taurus, then we're going to have, we're going to be pushing this story forward in some way. And Venus is particularly interesting because Venus is the ruler of Taurus. And so for a few years now, since I think it was 2018, it was like early 2018 when Uranus moved into Taurus. And so Taurus is a sign that is ruled by Venus. So every time that Venus makes a strong aspect to Uranus, then we're going to see some of this push forward. Now, Venus in Leo is going to make a square aspect to Uranus. So when one of the things that I've been talking about on my Patreon recently, on my Patreon I do like astro basics and how to understand astrology better so that you can ride the waves a little better in your life. And one of the things that I've been talking about on my Patreon is aspects. And especially with electional, when you're sort of like choosing an auspicious time to do things, then how can we use some of even the more difficult aspects to sort of propel ourselves into a better future? And a square aspect is a really strong way to do that. So whenever I think about squares, I think a lot about sort of, the potential for greatness here. Squares are the aspect that is associated with Mars. Mars is going to be active, conflict, tension, ragey, right? And so that sort of vibe is going to come through here when we've got Venus and Uranus in Leo and Taurus respectively. They're going to be making this square aspect. And so we see some kind of tension here. A lot of times when I think about this kind of tension, and especially with a T-square, right? So we've got the opposition and then we've got the other one in the middle of that. Then I like to think about a bowstring and an arrow, right? So the tension that is created here is the potential energy for generating velocity, for springing into action or something like this, right? And so what I really feel like is going on this week is Venus is pushing that Uranus story forward in some kind of major way. Uranus has been really trying to liberate us in some kind of way, liberate us from the fixed earth dynamic that Taurus represents. The old ways of approaching money and value and, the basic necessities that Taurus likes to describe with sort of shelter or food or these kinds of things. We've been doing old things for a period of 200 years perhaps, right, during the Earth triplicity, and now we're in this new wave and we need to approach these Earth dynamics in a different way. Uranus has been very strongly about innovation around these kinds of things. We see things like cryptocurrency turning into a big sort of situation. We see things like new ways to approach food and agriculture, and new ways to approach soil. I spent a little bit of time 6-8 months ago at this point, talking about the microbiome and talking about how the idea that the soil is alive is this new and innovative way, or also old and innovative way of thinking about the land itself, right? And so Venus really wants to push this story forward. But we've also got Venus opposite to Saturn, right? And so Saturn in Aquarius is going to want to say no to stuff. That's what Saturn does. Saturn says no. Saturn denies things, negates. Saturn restricts, brings challenges, requires discipline or maturity or something like that, right? Saturn loves to tell you that you are unqualified for the thing that you asked for, right? Venus is the planet of desire. And so what we see with this opposition, an opposition to Saturn almost certainly says no to something, right? So we've got Saturn saying no to whatever the Venus desire is. And we've got Venus in Leo, so this might be some kind of like desire around individuality and your sense of self or character, your, I've mentioned earlier this week, if I don't ask the question, what about me, then who will, right? This Venus in Leo really is strongly concerned with this question, what about me? And Saturn in Aquarius, who I've been delineating as authorities or government systems, this kind of thing, doesn't give a fuck about your individuality. It doesn't care how you feel. We need to think about the larger group dynamic, and we need to sort of like, there's a Japanese saying that the hammer or the nail that sticks out gets hammered, right? And so that's kind of what we see going on here. So really, when we're thinking about this Venus square Uranus situation, what we're seeing here is how the denial of some kind of desire sparks innovation, right? This is not a comfortable moment. This is a situation where, we're looking at kind of like the necessity is the mother of invention, right? So you want the thing, and then you hear from some kind of authority, no, you will never have that thing, or no, you are not worthy, or something like this, right? And then Uranus in Taurus wants to liberate from that. And so the Uranus in Taurus liberation piece is sparked into velocity or kinesis by this denial in some kind of way. And that story really wants to push forward this week. It's especially salient that that Mars is here in Leo as well, right? And so Mars loves an opportunity or an excuse to just push on shit, to see if we can light it up in some kind of way. And so that Venus is in the same house or domicile as Mars. We can think of them as being roommates right now. And so Venus is going to be influenced by this Martian attitude. Venus is not going to just be super like regular old Venus, like, bring me the love and joy. This is going to be a Venus who is getting closer and closer to conjunction with Mars. And so we're going to see some of that Mars coming through in the Venus stuff. So I'm really excited to see how this goes. Again, we're looking at the denial of pleasure, which sparks invention. And so this doesn't necessarily look fun. It doesn't necessarily look easy, but it does look a little geniusy, right? It looks like there's real potential for excitement and like something new to take place, and especially something new that has been burgeoning for a little while, as long as Uranus has been in Taurus, which we're getting on, what is this, 3.5 years at this point, where it's a 7-year transit. So we're almost reaching halfway. So we're seeing this go on this week, and I'm really excited about it. I'm running out of time. I should continue to talk about other transits. There's some other stuff going on this week. It's a pretty big deal. We've got Mercury in Gemini, right? Mercury's been in Gemini for a little while now. We had a Mercury retrograde. The Mercury retrograde was stationed square to Neptune in Pisces. The Mercury station was at 25 degrees. Neptune has been at 23 degrees of Pisces for a while. Neptune is often confusing to the Mercury stuff. Mercury likes to communicate. Mercury likes to transmit information or product or ideas, any of this sort of stuff. Mercury is back and forth, dialogue, conversation, all this kind of thing. We saw a really rough Mercury retrograde. Maybe it wasn't rough for everybody. It was rough for me. It was a rough Mercury retrograde, which was configured to eclipses and all this sort of stuff. It was very confusing. It was confusing and rushed at the same time. Mercury this week is going to move forward, is going to finally make that last square to Neptune in Pisces. There was one on the front end, then one on the retrograde side, and now we're moving forward again. We're going to hit this one last time. So we're going to sort of, likely we'll see some kind of solution around some of the same problems that may have come up around Mercury retrograde. But there's still something here that's a little bit shadowy, a little bit nebulous, a little bit misunderstood or something like that. So definitely beware of that. This is the last week of Mercury and Gemini, and actually there's some pretty nice Mercury and Gemini elections. If you want to check me out on Patreon, there's some good opportunities to get Mercury doing some nice stuff, especially since we've got Jupiter in a mutable sign as well. And so if you've got Mercury in domicile and you've got Jupiter in domicile, and then you put your mutable signs on the angles, then now all of your angles are dignified. And so we have an opportunity this week to get some nice stuff out of the mutability, out of the adaptability. Now, if we can get good stuff out of the adaptability, then this is probably good for the innovation dynamic that I just mentioned a little while ago, right? So we've got some nice opportunity here to make something nice out of the chaotic moment that we're sort of living in right now. The other thing that's going on this week is a new moon in Cancer. So a new moon in Cancer wants to plant a seed. A new moon always wants to plant a seed, but the new moon in Cancer especially is really big on seed growing. It's really big on nourishing things, taking care of things, making sure that it's all together, right? And so this, again, looks like a great opportunity to me. This is a new moon in Cancer, which is not an eclipse. Yeah, we haven't had that in a long time, in a year and a half. We have new moon in Cancer, which is not opposite to Saturn. Again, we love it out here. This is great. We've got a little opposition to Pluto here. Might be a little bit emotional, might feel some feelings, might get a little obsessive sometimes. Every time I think about Pluto and trying to use Pluto in a constructive way, then I think about research projects, diving deeply and obsessively into a subject in order to write the book on it or something like this, right? And so this, again, to me, seems to serve the idea of innovation here. If we need to think some new thoughts or be with some different ideas than where we've been before, then this might require a fair amount of research. This might require the transmission of information and some adaptability. This may require some necessity in order that we will invent. And so this is a pretty good week where we've got a lot of opportunity. I'm pretty excited about it. I've got some plans. I hope you do too. Let me know what you got going on this week. Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to check out the Alchemist Kitchen at 119 Crosby Street. Super cute in there. Use the discount code ZamboniFunk for 10% off anything in-store or online. Check out all of that. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sending me a tip via PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate y'all for being here. I really appreciate y'all for being a supportive community. And yeah, that's what I got for you this week. I look forward to seeing y'all next time. Bye.